I don't know why I continue to read the Reddit digest, and I continue to try to comment, and almost every time it's banned. I think every board I am banned from, but I just went to another board, actually searched something about historic homes, because I was going to ask people advice, because God's going to restore me. And because of that, I needed some advice about what colors to paint my house or to get siding. I'm going to turn this light on and be right back. Okay, that's a little better. So I searched Reddit, and I did not post my pictures yet. But I like how my house looks, but it's very shabby, and it's overdue for painting. I paid for painting to be done, and I have a feeling like God wants to put some vinyl siding on my house. And this was mentioned by the scammers before. This was also mentioned by somebody who I believe is a good person. So the way my house is there's this really beautiful covered porch, and it's got like carved wood on it, so that can't have siding on it. So I mean, that already has like clapboard, like wood siding, but since it's under the covered porch, it doesn't really get damaged. So I'm thinking of putting vinyl siding on the entire house, but not on the covered porch, so they wouldn't be the same color. And I didn't know if this would look weird. I think it might look good. Yeah, I think it might look good to have, because whoever lived here before, they made some bad decisions, but they actually were pretty good at home decor and design, because I liked like the choices they made in a lot of areas. Like they started painting the house in this like light brown color. It's almost like a tan. It actually looks really good. It looks really good, so I want to try to get a siding that same color. But the covered porch is white, and it's painted white, and I don't think it would look good that color anyways. But I don't want to remove the wood siding that's on the front, because I don't know. I don't even know if you can, because of the woodwork. So I don't know if I want to pull up a picture here. But the front of my house, there's brick, and then there's like these curved pillars, and then it goes like this, and it butts right up against the wood siding, so it might damage that and destroy it to try to remove it. And also, that siding appears to be in good shape, just the paint is really bad. The paint is flaking off. So I think because it's under the covered porch that it's in good shape and doesn't need to be replaced with vinyl. So, maybe somebody will come on here and comment or give some advice. But yeah, God's going to restore me somehow in some way. And it has been mentioned a few times about the vinyl siding. I like the look of my historic home, but siding isn't like a huge deal, because you can always put wood siding back on. So I like the width and the size of the wood siding that's on there. So they probably have some vinyl siding that looks really similar. So it would still be a historic home if I switched to vinyl siding. The reason is just because it would be a lot more work and money to keep painting the wood siding. I mean, the wood siding, it looks good, and I wanted to keep it. But I have heard now from demons and from someone who I believe is good that vinyl siding would be better. And they did mention have to climb up on a ladder and paint the siding. So actually, if I just had the original wood siding on the covered porch, that's not way up on the second story. That's all on the first story. And it's not that bad to reach. You could just use a step ladder, honestly. So that actually is not a huge deal, because I think you have to like rent one of those. I don't know what they're called, but like painters use these lifts to get way up on a house, and it's kind of dangerous. And then with the dogs, this is not something I want to mess with. So I think I'll probably just get vinyl siding on the outside. It's still a historic home. You can still go and buy wood siding. But under the covered porch, I think I have to leave the original siding, and it actually appears to be in great shape because there was shingles on top of it. Okay, so I went to Reddit, and I was gonna post my pictures and ask people advice, what they thought of the colors that I picked. And then I searched historic home, and then the first post I see is somebody asking about historic homes and like if they should get one and if it's worth it. And I click on it. So now I didn't post my pictures yet, and since my comment will probably be removed because they say I have no karma, because Kingdom of Darkness does not allow me. God does not want me posting on Reddit, and Kingdom of Darkness does not want me posting on Reddit. They're probably going to remove my comment. But everyone else's comment was like, oh, they're big money pits, and they're horrible, don't get them, and everything's wonky, and, basically saying there's a bunch of problems, and it's a lot of time and money. And guys, I actually disagree with every single one of these commenters. I had Saul of Tarsus destroy my home. So to destroy my home, here's what he did, okay? They snapped my plumbing with their hands. Now, if this was a new home, it would have been the same problem. They snapped the toilet flange and broke it. This was metal. I think it was cast. So this would have been broken in a new home, too. Let's see what else. They installed roofing in an addition, so they put rolled roofing without underlayment, so it failed. This would have been the same in a new home. So there's no difference there. And actually a lot of the other damage is because it looks like a 35-year-old roof, and it's old 3-tab shingles that was just left to rain into the house. And despite all this, the house is in pretty, solid. It looks shabby, but it's solid. It's solid. They had to do a lot. They had to take the gutters off. That would have caused a problem in a new home. Yeah. Every problem I have here was caused by Saul of Tarsus and his buddies and his family that he brought in. And they were traitors. So, none of this is actually because I have a historic home. Now, there was a problem with tree roots getting into the drain and backing it up. But see, I didn't know about this. If I was able to contact the previous owner, they could have told me in advance, and I could have put stuff down the toilet, flushed stuff down the toilet to prevent this. They did not tell me. So I was not able to stop this, which was a part of God's plan too. So everything was a big set up. So I have to live very uncomfortable, miserable, unable to enjoy my beautiful historic home. But I know, actually, despite all of these problems, that it's still standing. And it's not bad. I mean, seriously, it's like just raining into the house, and it's still a house. And most of the siding and stuff looks fine. There's a few rotted pieces, and that took so many years of neglect to get to that point. The 3-tab shingles are all different colors with missing shingles, like a linen closet at the top of the steps, and it has a latch on it. So the catch that the latch goes into. So this is 100 years old, so I guess it snapped or something because it was cast iron. Instead of replacing this or putting another catch on there, he put a piece of duct tape on there, and he painted the duct tape. He painted the duct tape brown. This is what. Okay. So instead of replacing the roof and paying to put a roof on, he just installed a drop ceiling. But yet the house is still a house. It seriously took people going through my house, snapping things with their hands, and I truly believe had this been a modern home, it would not have survived. But because this is an old 1920s home, it's still alive, it's still going. So I don't agree with any of these people commenting on Reddit. It took an act of God to ruin my house. Actually, I do think that a lot of things that were ruined were things that could have been improved in the first place, so maybe it's good. Maybe it's good. But despite it raining and flushing insulation down into the yard, like, um, I actually felt like healthier being in this home than living with a narcissist. So I think that just the way these homes were built, and they didn't have AC, but they breathed. Because they breathed, then water would keep getting in, but it would just evaporate. So it's not like a new home where water gets trapped and then it molds. So actually, this was a really good thing. And people complain about the windows being too small. My home has giant windows, like huge windows, and they're beautiful. People complain about the house being drafty. It's not drafty. My house isn't drafty at all. The person that lived here before actually put carpet over, I think, the floor vents, and then they put wood over the floor vent in the bedroom, so all of the heat goes into the upstairs bathroom. And I think the reason they did that is because people were taking baths, and no one wanted to take a bath if it was cold in there. And I actually took a bath in there in the winter while there was a hole in my roof. You could see the ceiling through the room, and actually it was a little cold, and I didn't enjoy that. This is before they broke my plumbing. This is before Saul of Tarsus's buddies broke my plumbing. I was able to take a bath. But there was a hole to the outside in my ceiling, so it was too cold, and I didn't really enjoy it. No, I did not really. Maybe a little bit. And then the hot water ran out, because I actually had the washer going at the same time, and this is when my washer still worked. It's just like my bathroom sink used to work, and my bathtub didn't used to leak, and my toilet used to flush awesome. Like, it had a really powerful flush in it. And that was one thing I really loved when I got the home inspection, and when I moved in, I was using the toilets, and I'm like, wow, these are amazing. These are so much better than the toilets where I came from. They were so much better. And then Saul of Tarsus broke all of them. I wouldn't be surprised if they dumped concrete down the plumbing. I don't know. But even if they didn't, little bits of the roof kept falling down. So basically it was raining into the bathroom. But yet where it rained, it would fall into the bathroom sink, which was convenient. I had the stopper in. So the bathroom sink would fill up. This went on for I don't know how long. I don't know how long it was like this before I moved in. And I know it was like this for many months after I moved in. And so just the water would sit in the sink, and little pieces of the roof would slowly bypass the stopper and go down into the plumbing. And now I think they've solidified and seized that plumbing. So now if you try to use it, it leaks. And then when it leaks, it actually goes straight down and destroys the drop ceiling in my kitchen. So now I have a hole in that. Now, at least it's a drop ceiling. And this is something the guy that lived here before installed. So I did really like it, but honestly, I could just put a white ceiling in, and I'm okay with that. I really am okay with that. It looked like it wouldn't be something too expensive. You could just go to Lowe's and pick up some paneling or something and pop it up there. But he had this weird popcorn sprayed on it in different colors, and I really liked how that looked. But, actually, I might like white just as much. And see, I'm always the person complaining, everything is white now. And that's true. But actually, there's a lot of other, neutral colors in my home. So to add white to it is okay. Because, the walls in here are actually really light pink. So because of that, if I add white somewhere else, then it's not making my house look like a doctor's office. And that room in there's got some stones on the wall on the bottom half, because there used to be a fireplace. And then where the fireplace was, there's not maroon, there's a burgundy on the wall where the fireplace was. Then there's white on the top. And then there's this neat sand art picture just a part of the wall. So it looks amazing. It looks beautiful. And actually, you can't really add your own art or it's too much. It's already done and it matches. This is awesome. So because of this, actually, I guess if that drop ceiling comes down, at least this is something that's pretty inexpensive to buy some paneling. I went to the hardware stores. I saw the price of this stuff. It's not that much. It's really not that much. And actually, I might want to raise it a little bit more. I might even want to, because I think the guy that lived here before was short. Because he had lamps and things hanging very low. And so, I didn't think that was appropriate. So I actually bought different lamps, because I'm only like 5'1", but like your average height person would be walking through like my laundry room, and there is a pendant lamp with like a metal point on it hanging from the ceiling, and your average man walking through there would hit his head on that. And just, I think this isn't, and it's not just that. Actually, where it was installed, it's a little crooked. So that's what I mean. It's actually a beautiful lamp, but some things it wasn't very smart. I don't know how to say. So it does seem to be a lot of things that are damaged really maybe can be fixed, and there were things that weren't perfect to begin with. So, but actually, this home and the condition it's in, I think it would just keep on like being a home for another 100 years, and maybe it would shift a little more. The thing is, you can't adjust the doors. The home is 100 years old. It's actually more than 100 years old. My home is 105 years old. So yeah, some of the doors, like I noticed, I actually took the door catch off, where the latch goes in one of the rooms, because the door closed or actually it didn't close when I moved in, and so I took it off, and I repositioned it and screwed it back in place, and then the door closed, and then like it was winter, and then it didn't latch again, and then it was summer, and then it closed again. So this is the type of thing they're talking about in this video. And now, here's my opinion on that. So, the other rooms aren't like that, but I have other rooms in the house where the doors open and close fine, like there's a walk-in closet. The door opens, the door closes. I have another bedroom, and I actually had no handles on it, so I ordered some handles and installed those myself. It just had holes on the door. And so that door closes, and it opens just fine. And then there's the master bedroom. That does not, because the door actually sits high now. So it needs planed, or it just needs lowered. And you can do that on the hinges. So that's another thing. You can just adjust these doors. So maybe every 100 years you need to adjust the door and put it back on. This is just something that like normal people should be able to do. I don't know how to do this. Actually, I could probably figure it out, but I'm not going to mess with it. Anyways, the person that lived here before, I think, already planed it a little bit, because there's a part of the door where it's missing stain. But it still looks great, and actually I don't even notice that it's not closed all the way. I just push it mostly closed, and actually I think it latches, but the top of the door is bent back, but this is what I mean. It's still fine. The door still closes, actually. It's still fine. It's only one room, and I repositioned it, and actually, I think like carpet pile would probably hold it in place. Or if there's a transition strip, you could position that to hold it in place, or you can even use a door stop. And this being a guest bedroom is not really a big deal to me. But this is what people are talking about, the home being a money pit. I have one bedroom where the door is actually opening and closing just fine now. And see, I unscrewed where the so you got the handle, and it's got like the little lock thingy that comes out and goes like that. So the catch that it goes in, I just unscrewed that, repositioned it, and screwed it back in place, and then it worked. And then the seasons changed. The seasons changed, and it didn't work. And then the seasons changed again, and it worked again. So you could just get a cast iron door stop. I'm just saying, like, this is not a money pit. You can just choose to ignore that. I'm saying this honestly. You don't need to do anything. It's fine. It's good enough. Like, seriously. And it's just this one room. The other rooms are fine. So, probably the door could be lowered. But actually, my dog dug up some of the carpet pad right in front of that door. So I think that the carpet would have held it closed. But yeah, my dog actually ruined this. But there's a lot that you don't need to fix and you can live with. Now, I had agents for the devil come and break my plumbing and my toilets, and I don't think these toilets are that old. I mean, seriously, but That actually greatly affects my quality of life. But the other stuff, I don't care. It's fine. This door doesn't latch. The other one's closed well enough. That's fine. I don't need to fix this. There's no reason to fix it's fine. And this is what people are talking about. Like, they want everything to look brand new and perfect. And you know what? Actually, I don't. I don't want it to. Because just using things, there's going to get a scratch, and it's going to get a mark on it, and then it's going to bother me. But if it is already worn in, then it's great, because then I can use it and not worry about it. There's just certain things that you don't need to, like if there's a piece of missing paint or something, so what? Just ignore it. I mean, you don't need to repaint the whole room or go get a sample. It's fine. And actually, when the whole house is kind of shabby, it matches. But actually, I think my home is beautiful. I'm going to have a drink of my instant coffee in a Starbucks cup. Make sure to watch my video on the do-it-yourself Starbucks coffee. I will say, living here, the first year I had no air conditioning, and I was uncomfortable. And I had been living with air conditioning for like 23 years. So the first year was very uncomfortable, and there was like a heat wave where it was effectively 108 degrees for a week. This was awful. And I actually slept in the room where it's raining now, and I can't sleep in there, so I don't know what I'm going to do. But anyways, this year, it's June, and it was pretty hot today, and I am sweaty. And I wouldn't say this is necessary. Like, I actually went out and mowed the lawn, and it was really hot, and I got sweaty mowing the yard. So, maybe this sweat is from mowing the yard in the sun and not from being in the house with no AC. That's very possible. But, this year, I'm actually a lot more used to it. It's like when you start riding a bike and then like your legs hurt really bad the first day, and you know it's uncomfortable, and then you ride it for a week, and then actually it starts to get really easy to pedal. And then, like that first year with no AC, oh my gosh, it was, some days were very unbearable. But so far this year, it hasn't gotten too hot, I suppose. But it said it was like 85 in here. I stay downstairs when it's really hot, like during the day, and the temperature down here is cooler than upstairs. Upstairs are bedrooms, so I don't hang out in bedrooms during the day. I come down to the living room and where the kitchen and stuff is. Yeah, I think that it's just like after that first year, it's just a lot easier to deal with this year. I don't know, like I'm getting used to not having air conditioning. When you get used to not having air conditioning, like I'm actually starting to get cold now. I have a fan on. So when the fan's off, it's hot in here and I'm starting to get sweaty. So then I just got like, this is a Walmart fan. It's like 25 bucks or something. I got this last year. You know, the ones that stand up, the Lascos. I got one of those. It's behind me. Now, it actually, like when it's 85 in here and I turn that fan on, then it's comfortable. It is comfortable now. I'm getting cold. I am cold now. And so actually the only time it was unbearable last year was during the heat wave. And they were telling people, like, you could die, make sure your AC is on in your car. And it's like, I'm in my house with no air conditioning. And I really felt bad for my St. Bernard. But I did make a lot of ice cubes, so if it gets really hot. I wanted to pick up, like, a hard plastic kiddie pool and then put that out in the yard, and then I can put water in it, so if he gets real hot, maybe he'll get in that. Maybe he would like to lay in a kiddie pool or something. That has to be like a sturdy one, like hard plastic, because they'll pop anything fragile. But just living here, there's a lot that you can just let go, and you don't need to fix. You don't need to repaint. You don't need to remodel. You don't even need to redo the windows. Like, let's see. The house doesn't have air conditioning. So because it doesn't have air conditioning, it would be susceptible to mold if it was built using modern standards. But because it's drafty, the water just, like, the humidity, it leaves, it evaporates. So it doesn't cause mold in the house. And I happen to know because, like, I can smell mold, I can notice mold, and it's not in this house. You even see condensation, but not mold in some areas, and, like, I don't open that window. I didn't open the window because there wasn't a screen in it, and I didn't want bugs to come in. But I could have opened it, and this is one way to circumvent some problems, so. I've got a window here and a window back there. So actually, I don't want my dogs to jump out of this window, and that's the reason why I do what I do. Is I just got like some wood blocks, like just some cheap wood blocks, and I just prop the windows open like an inch on each side or 2 inches, and then it gives me a cross breeze. I've got two giant windows on the front of the house. They are huge. Now these are so old they do not open and close. Um, Now, maybe somebody would be able to get them open, but I don't want to risk breaking them. Especially since I already have two other windows right here. I don't need them. And I also have a screen door. So I can open the front door and get some air coming in through the screen on the top of that. There's really no reason to open these front doors. Or, I'm sorry, there's really no reason to open the front windows. So, yeah, I've got two large windows. Now, people complain about how drafty they are. Now, so these are huge windows, and they're not gas filled, and they're not insulated up to modern standards, which a lot of that is a scam because the gas actually slowly leaks out, and I think after 8 years they don't do anything. And who replaces their windows? I think every 4 or 8 years or something. But anyways, these windows are massive. They're huge. They're maybe 50 to 100% wider than your normal window, and they're also all the way up near the ceiling. They're really big, and they actually look beautiful. They make my house look nicer. Now, in the winter, when it was cold, I have some vents where the heat comes in, and I have gas here. And the vents are a few inches in front of those windows. So the hot air comes up in front of those windows. And I guess effectively the hot air would leave through the windows. But the furnace actually works well, so it's good enough. So here's the window, and if I put my hand right here, I can feel that it's colder. My hand, I can feel it's colder. Okay? But actually I have a couch right in front of this window. Okay? I got a couch right here. And if I sit on that couch, I don't notice. But if I try to put my hand next to the window, I notice. But the thing is, when I have the heat on, the heat is more powerful than... I am getting more heat in the room than I am losing. And so I'll keep the thermostat set at 60 because I was broke. But honestly, I probably still could have turned it... I turned it up to 70 1 month. So I had it set at 60, seeing how much that would cost. And this is like a 1,350 square foot, 4 square home, 2-story, okay? Now they've messed with the vents and stuff upstairs to make all the hot air go out of the bathroom, which I guess I could put back, but I don't care. It's fine. I just put a few little space heaters in the others, and I don't even use those. But, it cost, I set the heat at 60 degrees, and this is because I was broke. I live by myself, and I am poor. So I heard that it was really expensive to heat these homes. So I set the heat to 60 degrees. 1 month of my gas heat cost $90. $90. In the very coldest month of the winter, I think it was $120. Where I came from, just had electric heat. It was a modern home, insulated. I believe actually the same size or smaller than this home. Actually, I think it was smaller than this home because there's an addition on the other side that I don't think is included in the square footage. Yeah, so I came from a modern home with insulation that was smaller, and it was costing $300 a month to heat. This home, I turned the heat down to 60, and it cost $90 to $120 to heat. And then I turned the heat up to 70, and actually I was getting a little too warm when I did that. And then it was maybe 120. So that's what I mean. I don't know where you are or what you're doing. But I think I'd probably be most comfortable with it set at like 67 or something. And this is actually really affordable. I am just super broke. Like, I don't know I don't know how I'm going. I've got a property tax here due very shortly. I don't know how I'm going to pay this unless some money magically um, transports itself into my bank account. That's why I turned my heat down to 60. But it was so cheap, and then like I turned it up 10 more degrees to where I was actually, if I moved around like doing stuff, I was getting too hot, so I had to turn it back down. This was like $120 a month for this home. Now, I did say the person before had installed carpet in some of the rooms, and they covered up the vents, and then they covered up another vent so that all the heat would go out of the bathroom for some reason. But actually, I like my bedrooms to be cold when I sleep at night. And so I put like one of those oil-filled space heaters in the master, but actually what I really like to use are those water bladders. You put either boiling water or really hot water in them, and you put them under your covers, like a half hour before you go to bed, and then when you get in, it's like really warm in there. This is kind of like if you have like a little dog and they go under the covers and warm it up. Water bladders. This is what they use in Japan. There are homes in Japan with paper walls and gaps on the bottom where you can see the outside. They do not heat their homes in the winter, and they use water bladders. And you know what? I actually studied abroad when I was 17. I stayed at my friend's house. They had not historic, but they had the traditional style Japanese home with the paper walls, and you could see, if you looked like at the bottom, there was just a gap to the outside. This was on purpose because actually it was very refreshing. I felt really healthy. And then they put water bladders in the bed. I think that was one of the best night's sleep I had in a really long time. I mean, it was nice. I loved that. That was great. So I could do that here too, but even if I don't, it's still a lot warmer here. It's not like having paper walls. People say it's drafty. Not really. As I said, if I go to put my hand right up against the glass, I can feel it's colder. And maybe a foot away, I don't notice it. But I have a couch right in front of this window. If I sit on the couch, I don't notice it. But if I go to put my hand near the window, I notice it. But I don't care, because why would I do that? I just go up to feel near the window, and then I have to spend $20,000 to replace my windows? No. And these windows are a scam. As I said before, these modern windows are a scam. Filled them with gas that actually does insulate for a short while. After some number of years, then the gas actually wears out, and they don't offer any additional benefits over single pane. They don't. The gas leaks out, and then they are useless. They want you to pay to install new windows again, which costs a heck of a lot more than any 5 cents you'd save on your electric bill. You think the energy company is going to lower your bill because you put in a new window? No, they're not. This is the thing. Probably your bill will be exactly the same, if not $1 less, and now you've spent all this money to install new windows. So old homes are not a money pit unless you want them to be. If you want them to look brand new inside, they can be a money pit. Now actually what I do, instead of changing the layout, I would never change the layout unless there was something horrible. Actually if something really bad didn't make sense, I understand. But for the most part, the layouts in these homes are totally functional. But you might need some different furniture or not to use the same. So you might need to use different furniture or less furniture. And this is true. Doesn't mean, so I wouldn't be moving walls and getting rid of walls. That's dumb. It really is. You don't need to. So when I moved here, this home was not designed to be used with a television. It was designed to be used with a chimney, and people sat around the chimney and talked or knitted or maybe played instruments. I don't know. So I actually had to find a piece of furniture. I couldn't use my old desk. So I've got windows here, and huge windows there. There wasn't really a good place to put a television. So this is what I mean. Are you going to pay to renovate a home because there's not a good place to put a TV? No. So here's what I did instead. I had to get a corner desk. This was not so easy, but actually I hit enough thrift stores and God provided. The thrift store I went to, they had this nice Ethan Allen corner desk, and then I've got a large flat screen TV, which is my computer monitor, and it's in the corner. And actually this is a great location to put the TV because you can kind of see it from the couch. You can see it from the couch fine. You can swivel it. I use it as my computer monitor right here. I sit in front of it. Um, and actually, this chair, I got this. I think I got this at the thrift store for $3. And I went to the thrift store. They had the oil heater. It was like $19. So that was kind of pricey, but they're $100 new. So, and it works. I actually haven't even used it. I just tested it and it works, but I have not used it here. Because when it's really cold, I just put coats on. Because I don't like when my face gets too hot. That's really uncomfortable. It makes me swell up. I don't like it. So I prefer to keep the house cold and just wear coats or sweaters, or just wrap up in a blanket while I sit down, or wear a robe. This is what I like to do. Maybe you don't, but see, if you live in a home like this, then you might start doing these things and then find them really comfortable, honestly, and get used to it. So if you're coming from a modern home, then it's like kind of a culture shock. Well, it's silly. There's things that you're going to do differently. So this might be a shock the first year, and you might not be used to it. Your body is not used to this. But by year 2 in your historic home, I'm finding that I'm actually quite used to a lot of this. Now, it's June, and I have not felt too hot in my home. It was actually hot and sweaty in here today, and I'm like, oh, shoot, I forgot to turn on the fan. I turned the fan on, and now I'm cold. So I'm sure it'll get hotter. But still, it's kind of nice to be too hot if you put a little plastic pool in the backyard and go sit in it with the dogs. Anyways, I'm just saying is I've actually gotten used to a lot of this, and then after I get used to it, I think it's actually becoming more comfortable. Because I remember I had a house built in the 80s, and that was my Columbus house. And this house, it's like a nice house. A lot of people would like this house. But when the heat was on, it would get too hot, and I was uncomfortable. I was always too hot when the heat was on, and I'd always wanted to turn it to a different type of heat, but yeah, it was just always too hot for me. And here, I only turn it down to 60 because I'm broke and I don't have any money. But I think I like that, so what I would do is turn it to 60, put on a jacket and a blankie and wrap up, and then I am comfortable, and my face is nice and cool. So I prefer this over where I came from, where everybody else turns the heat up and then it's too hot and I'm uncomfortable. So I prefer that. Now, I love the AC and I got used to it, but actually now I'm kind of getting used to not having AC, to where like fans are comfortable, but they can be loud. I'm getting used to not having AC. In maybe a couple more years, and this will be normal, and I won't even notice a difference. And I'm saying this, guys, honestly, to where, this is seriously what I mean, like, to where I wouldn't even use a window AC except for the very hottest days of the year. So, if it was over 90, then I might put in a window AC or a portable AC. But if it was under 90 degrees, I'd probably be more comfortable without using it. And I think I'm getting there. So if you've been living with air conditioning for 20 years or 30 years, your first year is going to be rough. Your second year is going to be easier. By year 3 or 4, you might actually be used to this. Now, it becomes a little different if you go to a job and they have cold air conditioning, because your body just gets used to whatever you're in. So you acclimate. You get used to whatever environment you live in. This is the same for your home. So we have gotten used to really cold air conditioning. And if you're not in that, actually can feel too cold if you're not used to it. But I actually liked the AC, but I did not like the heat, so I would prefer to keep that lower. I like the heat in here. It's warm, but it's not too hot. I don't like when it was really hot. See, the appliances, they work. Plug in, they work. There's old knob and tube here. Let's see. The bathroom upstairs actually doesn't have any outlets. They had a wall sconce with an outlet on it by the sink. So if you had to plug... But actually, I don't need to plug anything in the bathroom. I don't plug things in the bathroom. And right outside the bathroom, there is a plug there. So if you really wanted to like plug in a hair dryer, then you open the bathroom door and there's an outlet right there. So you could plug it in there. But honestly, why would you do that in the bathroom? This is more something you do in your bedroom. I really think like I never had a reason to use an outlet in a bathroom. So maybe if you're charging something, you can charge that in your bedroom and then bring it into the bathroom. You know, but actually, this room, the wall sconce had been broken, so so it's really old wall sconce. It's so old that the outlet that is on this wall sconce, which is you're not allowed to install now, it's a huge code violation. The outlet that's on this wall sconce, it's two small slits. It is so old that nothing will plug into this, not even things from the 1950s. You have to get something like 80 or 100 years old to even plug into this. But then the sconce itself is actually broken. And it would probably work, but there's a switch on the bottom. So somebody, and it's a twist switch, so somebody broke it. It could probably be fixed, but I'm not going to do it. And I don't know. It just seems like something that could possibly fail again, so I am taking that down. But actually, I think somebody else could fix this, or you could just hardwire it to be on all the time. The thing is that there is no... In my house, I'm probably going to sell this wall sconce. It looks beautiful, but the thing is, in my house, there's a light switch for the ceiling light. There's not a light switch for the wall sconce. There's no way to turn it on, so I can't just fix it and use it, so... I guess maybe I would like to have a double gang switch there, but it'd have to be dropped down from the attic. The attic has no insulation in it, and I think maybe that's one reason they put the drop ceiling in. Yeah, they didn't fix the roof, so there's a little water damage, but, you know, I like it to be cold, and when it's hot up there, it's not like 50 degrees hotter. They're still in the attic, so that's maybe 5-10 degrees hotter. Yeah, probably 5 degrees hotter up there. I don't know. But in the evening, at night, like if you open the windows and use a fan, I find that to be like a really nice temperature. And I prefer that generally to air conditioning. Even on a really hot summer day, in the evenings. When the sun goes down, it tends to cool off quite a bit, and you can put a fan in your window and get a nice cool breeze. And you might find that to be actually more pleasant than air conditioning. It's just something that we're not used to, and we don't expect, because it gets really hot during the day. However, at night, it might be really comfortable. You might actually prefer the temperature at night. Maybe it drops down to like 70 or something at night, and then, you know, turn the fan on and it feels like 65, I don't know. Or it's 80 and it feels like 75 when the air moves. So I would say, yes, my home was sabotaged, my home was destroyed, but everything is still working. If I wanted it to look brand new, I could sink a bunch of money into this house. There's no need to do that. I did have to find a 40-inch stove. That was a little difficult, but I've got like a 100-year-old stove, which does work. I need to put a gasket on it. Those are not cheap. And the person here before also removed the range hood. There was a pulling out, and apparently they didn't get along, so he took the range hood and all the appliances. So I need to find a range hood that'll fit. There isn't one now, but I do have a stove, and it does work, but I only use the oven part until I get a range hood. But I can plug the fridge in, it works just the same. The oven works just the same as any other modern house. Say, the difference is, a lot of the furniture, you can't use a lot of the same furniture. Now, they always had a separate dining room. So, in my home, the kitchen is tiny. And then right off the kitchen is a large dining room. And then there's a living room. So, I actually find this really convenient. So a lot of new homes, they'd want to open this up like, oh, this is horrible, it's a tiny kitchen. Actually, it's effectively a huge kitchen, because it's a small kitchen where I stand in the middle. I turn this way, and here's a fridge. Turn that way, there's a sink. Turn that way, there's an oven. And then this room here is the dining room. So actually, I can turn and face the dining room, and it's almost like we're in the same room already. This is just the same as a giant kitchen, but it's nice because it blocks the areas off. This is so well thought of. Like, just some features in this historic home are things they don't consider in new homes. They do not consider these things new homes. They just pop them together real fast. This home has a laundry room on the first floor. Um, so it has a laundry room with a small bathroom coming off of it, but actually it's like a 45-inch shower in there, so it's comfortable. It's a really small room, but they got it positioned so well, like toilet, sink, and then 45-inch shower. Small room, but it's actually comfortable to use everything. And I don't need to walk to get to the sink. I stand up, and there's the sink. Like, I actually prefer this. This is nice. And at least a person before, they did install grab bars because they had an elderly parent. I believe his mother lived there. So this is actually also useful, even though I'm quite a bit younger and I'd say I'm fairly healthy. I still like the grab bars. It makes it easier for me to get up, so that's nice. But I don't need it so much as if I did have a guest, it's nice for them. And one thing, I moved into this house. And this is something somebody might sink some money in. Oh, the bathroom's too small. Actually, I think the bathroom's perfect. I'm not wasting space in my bathroom. You open the door, and there's a toilet right there, and there's a sink right there, and there's a shower right. It's all right there. It's so convenient. Like, there's something about how many steps you have to take before something becomes an inconvenience. This is super convenient. And yet, while you're using each item, it feels the right size. While you're using the toilet, it's the right size. While you're using the sink, it's the right size. While you're using the shower, it's the right size. But if you look at the room, it's too small. Many people with new homes would think this was terrible, but actually I find it very convenient. I like it a lot. And it comes right off of a laundry room on my first floor. This actually used to be the end of the house, but then they added an addition later. And that addition I just had made into like a relaxing entertainment room. I had 2 recliners and a big TV and speakers, and I had like another kitchen. I had a kitchen table there because I was using my dining room just a playroom. But I think I might use it as a dining room. I don't know. But anyway, so that room is destroyed now, and probably my new recliners are trash. Well, they were used at Restore. I don't know. Maybe I spent $60 on 2 of them, but yeah, hopefully not everything is ruined. But I had to pull all this stuff out of there and move it in the other room, so it's a mess. Like I said, I had people install my roof incorrectly twice, trying to get me. So this would have happened whether my home was historic or brand new. The 3-tab shingles would have been placed on a historic home or a 1990s or a 2000s home. That would have made no difference. The problems I have nothing to do with my home being a historic home. And you'll find like the house shifts a little bit over 100 years. It does, but it's still really secure and stable, and you don't notice it walking through. But like you might find like a slight slant, like in the bathroom floor or something. But you know, I don't really even notice it unless I look at it. So why would I spend $10,000 to fix a problem? It's not really a problem to me. I really don't care. And it's when they say these are money pits, it's only a money pit if you want it to be. There's a lot of things that are just fine. Had this been a brand new house, these would have been problems, because when there's an intrusion where water can get in a new house, like if anything is off, anything's not level, then it creates all types of other problems. But in this old home, it doesn't. Those things aren't. It's actually much better here, because things can be wonky and they don't have to be square, and they can get a little messed up, and it's still fine. But the new houses, once something is messed up, then the whole system is compromised and water can get in, and then it's so sealed that then it will mold and destroy things, and it destroys things under the surface where you don't notice. This house definitely would not be built to code today, but it's actually kind of convenient. Is all of the plumbing comes straight down in a row. This is genius. Whoever did this is genius. It's beautiful. It's a great idea. So upstairs there's a cast iron clawfoot tub which plumbs down, and then you've got a toilet and a sink, and they all meet and then go straight down. And that goes straight down over where my kitchen sink is. Like, they all go straight down. And then below that, there's a partial basement, and the main drain is there. And then they added an addition later, so they did more plumbing over that meets that. But the additional house, all of the plumbing came straight down. The upstairs bathroom plumbing went straight down. Okay, and then the kitchen was below that. And so if you wanted to work on this plumbing, then you actually did not, now today people probably have to, but you didn't need to open up the ceiling because they had all the plumbing accessible for a small person. They had all the plumbing accessible from above the kitchen sink. This is so genius. Now, you're not allowed to do this now because the plumbing is on an exterior wall, but it is back a little bit. It's not right up on the wall. It's like a foot back. So, and it's also conveniently right next to the furnace, so where the heat vent is. So that heat vent keeps the plumbing from freezing, even though it's on an exterior wall. It's not right up against the wall, and it's close to the heat vent, so it doesn't freeze. It never froze. And it comes straight down. So if you want to work on the plumbing, I have a feeling people today couldn't really do this, but if you want to work on the plumbing, what you do is just like, okay, so here's the sink, and then there's a window behind the sink where you can look outside. You stand in the windowsill, okay, and so there's a light above the sink. There's supposed to be a light above the kitchen sink. And then so you move the diffuser that would be over that. So you guys seen those plastic things? They're like plastic lenses that you put over a light so it's not too bright, okay? So you just take that out, and then you can access all the plumbing. So you stand in the windowsill, and then you can just reach all the plumbing without any need to remove ceiling or cut through things. It's just all right there. And they had just put insulation up in there, and just take it out with your hands and put it back. And when you're done, you just put that that piece of plastic back in there to cover the light fixture, which they actually didn't have a light fixture there. They had put in some paneling and didn't use that light. So I imagine it works. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But there's the little caps and the electric coming from there for a light fixture. And that's what that's designed for. There's like an opening, there is a rectangular opening above my kitchen sink where you're supposed to put a light. And then you put a diffuser in front of that. And if you move it out of the way, then up straight above the kitchen sink is how you access all of the plumbing for the upstairs bathroom. Beautiful. And the partial block basement does not cover the entire house, but it does keep the house kind of in place. And it actually looks fairly easy to work on. But I did find more ways to deal with the tree roots and what you're supposed to do. This is not something for me. I don't have the body weight to be digging. You actually dig around where the tree is, and you can bury some of these, and then it actually makes the roots pull back, and then they are farther away from your plumbing, and it wouldn't even be an issue. But as I said, I am not the type of person that should be digging. If you guys know anything about digging, body weight is your friend. So I have gained some, though. Okay, so this house is just so well made to where, like, it really took people intentionally breaking things. Like, they installed the roof wrong. That would have been the same on a new house. They snapped the plumbing with their hands. That would have been the same on a new house. They unclogged a drain through my shower and sprayed sewage everywhere. Okay, that would have been the same anywhere else. So yeah, they really tried to get me. So my situation is not good. But despite that, like, I've not had AC in a while, and it's sweaty and hot, and I've had the plumbing out, and I've had the washing machine not working, everything. Despite that, like, this is a house, and I don't see it molding and rotting away. Like, there's a few pieces of siding that are black that need to be replaced. But most of them are still good. So I'm not messing with it. I don't have any money, but the point is, I had paid to have this painted, and they would have just swapped out any pieces. But yeah, I might put vinyl siding on just because, I don't know, maybe every 5 years or so, maybe every 10 years, you would want to repaint your home. And this is just an expense, and it's costly, it takes a long time, and I have dogs, and Maybe it would be needed to be done in 7 years or something. I don't know. It's possible. It's doable. But I think maybe the vinyl siding should stay looking nice longer and not chip. I don't know. Just everybody tells me to get it, so I don't know. If you guys have any advice, like I think the wood siding looks really nice, but there's some pieces that need swapped out. And if I paid to have that painted and someone painted it and 5 years later it was starting to get chippy, that might be a concern because it's not cheap to paint. You know, it's still thousands of dollars to paint the house. So at that point, like, you know, maybe it's fine to put the vinyl siding on. If it's like the same size, if the same width as the original clapboard, then. But I was thinking of putting this light brown. It's not so much tan, it's just like a real light brown on the whole house, except for the covered porch, which is going to be the original wood siding. And then it's got this like architectural wood that's on there, and all that white in there. And then it has red brick on the bottom. So if you put brown right with the red brick, it's too dark. I don't like the look of it, but the white there looks good. I'm thinking like, okay, you got red brick, and you got your steps, and then you got white covered porch, and then you got brown siding above that. And now I need to change the color of the roof for it to match. So I hope whoever God restores me, I get an entirely new roof, because no matter what I do, they probably wouldn't use the same brand, so the shingles wouldn't be a match. I'm sorry, that's not restoration. If my shingles are mismatchy, they're close, but they're not that, like, and if they start to age and then they like fade in different ways, this is going to look bad. I'm thinking like okay, so I got brick on the bottom of my house, and I got steps, and a covered porch, that whole thing to be white, and above that you would see the vinyl siding, which would be light brown. And then I would put like a dark gray or a dark brown shingle roof on that. So I was thinking dark gray or dark brown for the roof. Right now it's the lightest brown because it was going to be white. But if I'm going to pay to put, if God's going to put vinyl siding on my house, then I don't think white's the best idea because it will get dirty. And the light brown will hide a lot of the dirt. so I'm thinking that I want to go that way. Plus, the sides of the house, they already painted a lot of that brown, and that color looks great. And if it was all white on the sides, it wouldn't look as good. That just light brown kind of blends in, and I got a lot of green in my yard. And if it was white, it just wouldn't look as good on the side. So maybe I'll post a picture. Maybe I'll post a picture of this and do a video separately. I'm thinking I will, because I don't have the picture ready. I don't want people like looking my house up, but you can already find out where I live. You know what? God will protect me. You're not allowed to come stalk me, you know. Try what you want. You can't do anything. Kingdom of Darkness, you can only do what God allows you to. So I am not concerned if people know where I live. You guys already were able to figure this out. Like, I don't need to hide this, because no matter what I do, the narcissist would have just found it. Like, who's the big threat to me? Some stranger on the internet or the narcissist? And all the people they pay and work with to try to destroy my life. They would have found out my address no matter what if I tried to conceal it, because they sued me. So upon suing me, their lawyer is able to find my legal address no matter where I live. Okay? So I don't need to try to hide this. I'm not concerned about somebody on YouTube. You really want to drive 1,000 miles to my house to look at the outside of my house? My house is a historical landmark. I've already told people you are welcome to visit my yard. My yard is a historical landmark, and I have a sign there. So if somebody wants to drive by and get a picture in front of my yard, you are my guest, and I'm not afraid. Can't be afraid of any humans. We be afraid of the one who made us and can take us away. Not afraid of any people, because they can only do what God allows them to. So, anyways, I'll post a picture of my house and how it looks now in the front. Actually, this picture was when it was for sale, so it looks a little different. But it's still the same colors and stuff. And then I'll post a picture of the colors I was thinking about doing the light brown vinyl siding. And now the roof needs to be darker or it doesn't match. And I already had half of the roof done in one light color siding, which none of the roofing companies use this brand, and they're all slightly different colors. So the whole thing needs redone. You can't have two different colors and two different types of roof. And then they wouldn't even insure the old roof. I'm sure it was insured when they installed it, but I think the scammers that worked with Saul of Tarsus, I think they're in prison now. They're not going to honor any. They're not going to honor anything. Yeah, they actually did have insurance, so if something was wrong with my siding, but they were in prison, and they're just going to be doing drugs. You really think that they're going to work with the insurance company on my behalf? No, and they don't care. They don't care. So I need this whole roof redone. Maybe you guys, when I post that other video, let me know if you think that dark gray or dark brown would look better. I'm thinking dark gray, but maybe that's too many different colors. I don't know. Thanks for watching, guys, and I would say recommend historic homes. They're great. But I'd say just move in first. Use it, okay? Actually, I can't stop it yet. Here's my advice. Move into the historic home. Use it. Don't change the layout. Don't change the paint. Don't change anything for the first year. Live in it for a year. Okay, this is going to be a different layout than what it's still a house, and it can do everything that your other houses can do. But it's a little different in the design because people didn't like sit around a television. So they would sit around a fireplace or something like that. So the design is a little different, but actually then you get used to this. So live in the house a year. You might find things that you had to get rid of in the beginning become some of your favorite features of the home. So just live in it. You don't need to go fixing everything. If the toilet doesn't work, fix it, okay? I'm just broke, so I can't do that. If the toilet doesn't work, fix it. You know, if the sink needs hooked up, fix it. If the roof is leaking, fix it. But don't paint the walls. Don't be moving walls around. You know, don't be upgrading the windows. Live with it the first year, okay? And you might find that these things really aren't a big deal and they don't need done. And that this is just fine. And you might actually find your heat is not nearly as expensive as people say. I guess if you're trying to heat the home up to 75, I don't know, because it might struggle it. I don't know, because, you know, mine didn't. I tried it. I tested it up a higher temperature a few times. It worked. I just had to be careful with my budget, so I never really pushed it. I'd normally keep it at 60, maybe 65. But I could have turned it up higher. I didn't want to. Just try it out, guys, and see. And if you're really concerned about your bills, I'd start with the heat lower, because you will get used to this. Then see what your bill is, and then increase it 5 degrees. See what your bill is. Increase it again, until this will keep it from being a $500 bill. I mean, I guess if you have a huge house, it's going to be that much, whether it's gas or electric, or whether it's new or old. You know, I really think these energy companies charge about the same, regardless. I'm just going to say, I think that even if you have an energy efficient home, you're not going to really see that much difference in your bills. I really don't think so. This is just another scam. You might see a few cents less, I don't know. But at least in my life, this is proven true. But it also depends on where you live. But yeah, you get a historic home, you like it, move in. Chances are someone else was just living there, and they were fine to live there, and if you really want to live without AC, if you don't want to install air conditioning, give it 2 years, not 1. You might find you actually prefer this, because it is quite liberating to be able to leave the door open. To leave the door open and just walk in and out, and you're not wasting air conditioning, and the bill goes up. It's just really nice to be able to do that. So, you might find with just fans that it's plenty cool enough. Maybe it's not perfect, but so one thing during the heat wave is I would go and I'd buy like some fizzy drinks and I'd put them in the fridge. So when it was like 108 degrees, then I would go and get me one and drink it, and then it kept my body temperature down. That with the fan, I didn't die. So, and you can get ice cubes for your dogs. I really wanted the kiddie pool. I did not get that. That would have been a good idea for them. In the backyard, put a kiddie pool out there and fill it with water, and then they can cool off. So, 2 years without AC. Give it a year without doing the windows. You might find they're fine. I mean, how often do you go and put your hand right next to a window to feel it? People, we don't do this. We don't care. And these old homes are actually, like, they're designed in a way for beauty and for, they're actually very ergonomic. I'm going to say honestly. Like, there are things about this home that new homes do not have. That $1 million new homes are not designed this intelligently. Like, you walk up the steps and there's a covered rail, and yeah, you could have that new home. But just the covered porch, the shape and design of it is beautiful. It's wonderful. It has this huge door. The door is like 7 foot tall, and these giant windows, and you walk in, and it's just in the wood floors, and they're a little chippy in some spots, and a couple pieces were cut out and replaced, but they look beautiful. Original 1920s wood floors. No one ever took care of this. No one ever coated them. You can tell, and I didn't either. They're fine. They're fine. They're still fine, and this is way better. My dogs would have destroyed any carpet within weeks, but this wood floor is 105 years old, and I like that, it's a little scuffed and shabby, but it's strong. And my dogs run on this, and and the dirt vacuums up really easy. It's just perfect. And I got a big room here, and it goes into another big room there with wood floors, into a small kitchen, which is right next to this big room. So you could effectively like be in a really big kitchen, because you can just talk to people in this other room that's right across. It goes into a laundry room with a bathroom, and that's attached to an addition, and then it's attached to an oversized 2-car garage, and the parking is beautiful. You can come from either way. There's an alley behind too, and there's a place to go straight down and leave, and you don't have to back up. So you could park in the garage if that wasn't filled with garbage from solid Tarsus. You can park next to the house and go in through the side door. I mean, the design of this house is so convenient and well thought out, and it's just beautiful. It gives me tons of room on this main floor to where I could host like a dinner here. In that room right there, there's a big doorway, a big oversized door. This is like a huge, there's like a doorway that's like 5 feet across right here. There's actually a pocket door that slides in and out, but I never use it because I like this to be open. There is a huge door right here. The door is like 7.5. It's a doorway right here. It's like 7.5 foot tall, and then I can just see this room right through it. So it's almost like this is just one large room. So I could sit here on my computer. There's a recliner. There's a couch, and then I can have a full-size kitchen table right there, and we can be interacting and talking to each other, and I can be rolling in my chair, and then there's a kitchen right there, and the kitchen is small, which allows you to just grab something you want and then come sit down. And then you can also talk, because the kitchen is small, you can talk to people in the dining room or the living room at the same time, and there's actually 2 openings to this room from the others. There's 2 like doorways, archways. I can't describe it other than this is beautiful, and it's not something you find in modern homes. I have to take a lot less steps to get to where I need to be, and it seems to be designed just the right way to where I maximize space. So I don't know how to say other than it's just smartly thought out. That I don't want to go in a basement to do laundry, and that's part of the reason I never want to do laundry. I don't want to go down into a dank basement by myself. Here in the basement, it's pleasant, it's beautiful, it's right next to my kitchen. It's right next to the bathroom. I don't need to go up any steps. And actually, it's a rather large room, so I've got a washer next to a dryer. It's not stacked. I don't want any stackables. I'm short. I don't want that crap. No, my house is well thought out. It's well thought out because these Sears homes from 1920 were really well made. They had like master architects designing these things. And like the custom wood on the front of this porch, you will not find this on new $1 million homes. You will not find this on new $1 million homes, but it's on my home. My home cost $65,000, and I could put a new roof on, have everything, have it painted, whatever, have it at 100. It has a big giant yard. I mean, just beautiful attached giant 2-car garage addition, large rooms, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, clawfoot tub, just a walk-in closet, a separate walk-in closet. But the covered porch, oh, that really killed me. Like, this covered porch is surrounded by red brick. And you don't find red brick like this in modern homes. No, you don't. And part of the brick is faded and like some paint got on it. And I guess I could sink $20,000 into that if I wanted to, or I could just leave it exactly how it is, like it has been for 105 years, and it's still there. So, no, old homes are not a money pit. You'll find they are huge money savers. They save you so much money. I'm serious. You got to think about this differently, though. Okay, in a new home, if there's a leak or if they're in the new home, like there's something wrong with the paint, you got to fix it, or it can cause damages. In the old home, it's not actually causing any underlying damage. It's just cosmetic. Uh, because the home was not designed to have air conditioning, then it's actually less susceptible to mold, and they used better wood. So if you guys don't know, the old wood was very dense and strong. It was hard to get it to mold. It was mold resistant, very strong. They used to make doors 1 inch thick, and they were stronger than like 3 inch door, 2 inch door today. So the wood was very dense. Now, they have young trees, so they're growing the trees on tree farms. Young trees, they cut them down. They don't have very many rings. They're not dense. They have to get it very wide, very thick for it to be strong enough. The old antique stuff could be very thin and very strong because they used old growth wood, which would be very expensive to find, but there's not even enough of it now to meet demand, so they can't even make it anymore. They can't even make it to the quality of things, that the way that things used to be. And that's what I mean. And yeah, you could spend $1,000 to replace some like custom wood trim, or you could just go and cut something yourself and nail it up there. And that's what I'm saying. It's only a money pit. It's only a money pit if you want it to be. So if you want everything to look perfect and new and it's all the same and it matches, don't buy a historic home. But if you want it to have charm and it's really strong and durable, and I do like a little shabby and chippy. If you love shabby and chippy, you can get yourself one of these really cheap. But yeah, there's just a different way of appreciating the car. It's like to have an old truck. You got an old truck, and it's going to run for 400,000 miles, and it's not going to break down. But it might have rust on it, and it's like maybe some weird color, or, it just doesn't look new. It looks shabby, but it's good, and it's going to last you 400,000 miles. And you buy the new Kia, and it looks brand new, but it's only going to last you 100,000. I don't know, I'm just guessing. It's only going to last you 100,000 miles. And as soon as something gets a scratch, you're going to notice, and it's going to look bad. But you get that old truck, it's just going to keep going and going and going, but it's not going to look new. So there's a different mentality you need to have a historic home. So I'm going to call this video something to do with historic homes. Thanks you guys for watching. God bless you all.